Okay, so my presentation is on optimizing second career teachers' effectiveness in the classroom. So I want to start off by asking you guys, who here has any interest in teaching whatsoever? Anybody? A little bit? A little bit? Oh my goodness, everybody. Okay. New slide. Who has any interest in things other than teaching for a career, let's say? So makes sense. Okay, so it turns out there are a lot of other people in the same situation. It turns out there are 33 to 48% of people entering the teaching profession come from something other than teaching. And so this is a group of people that has a unique background and skill set compared to teachers coming straight out of college. So the question is, how should we handle these teachers differently than traditional teachers so that we can create the best learning environment for our children? So I'm going to first talk about the primary research that I did. I conducted 3 interviews. Then I'll talk about new teacher induction. Then I'll proceed to the in-class practices and skills that second career teachers bring. And then finally, I'll discuss where is the best place to improve, the induction methods or the in-class practices. So first, I have my 3 interviews. There's John Heyman. He's an 8th grade U.S. history teacher, and he has background in law, politics, and real estate. There's also Robert Freeman. He's a 12th grade economics teacher and teaches 9th and 10th grade history, world history and European history, and he was a high-tech executive before becoming a teacher. And finally, there's Christy Dawson. She's the assistant principal at the school. She also teaches the associated student body class, and she has previous experience as an actor, and she studied family counseling in college. So that's just some background on the interviews that I did. Now I'm going to move on to new teacher induction. So new teacher induction, or assimilation, is the process after a teacher is certified in which he or she enters the new school and kind of gets the lay of the land. So up next is a kind of a word map of all the good characteristics of an assimilation process that will really help a teacher ease into the new workplace. So now, here's a list of second career teacher induction needs, and this is summarized by a professor at Notre Dame University, who is also the director of supervision of the Alliance for Catholic Education Service Through Teaching program. And the first need is know why needs, and this can be summarized by mid-career teachers discussing with their peers what are the motivating factors that drove them to change to teaching. So these factors are often going to be quite fresh in their minds because this has been a decided decision to make a career change. And this discussion with peers will help validate this big life decision that mid-career teachers are making. So coming back to my interviews, when I talked to Mr. Heyman, he had said he always kind of had the teaching bug, so he had always wanted to get back into it. And he had some experience lecturing during college. And Mr. Freeman similarly felt a need to give back to his community in a meaningful way. And that's why they decided to become teachers. So the next need is the know-how needs. And this can be summarized as a specific classroom knowledge that can be applied to teach students. So this can be a broad spectrum of things, from technical subject area knowledge to things like writing lessons plans, organizing a curriculum, and just structuring your classroom. Additionally, it's helpful in this step to have mentors to provide in-class feedback. So you'll have a mentor who will watch you teach, and then they can provide direct feedback. So again, Mr. Heyman commented to me that he was not even aware he needed to write lesson plans when he first started teaching. So that shows that he really didn't have this know-how need met. Also, he wasn't even certified to be a teacher during his first year. So again, lack of awareness about what needs to be done to be a teacher. Secondly, Mr. Freeman, the way he structures his class is in kind of a loose and informal style, and often this is at odds with what the administration expects of him. And so again, if he were to have a mentor who could really instruct him on what are the proper ways to conduct a classroom, that would help him immensely. Next is the know whom needs, and this is facilitating connections among peers and administrators. So For Mr. Heyman, his first year, he was working in conjunction with the second U.S. history teacher of the school, and she gave him plenty of tips on how to structure it. By his second year, that teacher had left, and he stepped up into that role after establishing that initial connection. Mr. Freeman, on the other hand, commented that he feels isolated within his department and at odds with the administration. So he really has a negative peer-to-peer and peer-to-administration relationships. So he would probably have greatly benefit by a mentor to help him in this know-whom process during his induction phase. All right, so now I've kind of summarized the induction needs of second career teachers. I'm going to move on to the in-class practices and skill sets that they bring. So I like to divide classroom skills into two categories. There's technical skills and non-technical skills. The technical skills include subject area competence, like in the math, English, science, history categories, and then there's the non-technical skills, organization, communication, management. And generally, second career teachers have strong backgrounds in these non-technical skills. The technical skills, they'll vary depending on the prior career. So maybe an engineer will have strong math science background versus a politician will have a good history background. So Mr. Freeman, an economics major, strong technical skills, can bring in real world examples. He also writes all his own texts, so that shows strong communication skills. Also, Christy Dawson, the administrator, who also teaches a class, was a previous actor and a counselor, and so clearly lots of non-technical skills at play there in dealing with teenagers. Okay, so here's kind of the classroom skills that second career teachers will bring. Now we want to ask, in the induction process or in the classroom skills area, where can we make changes to the current system so that we can best improve student learning? So initially, I thought that let's go into the classroom and give these second career teachers more freedom to kind of change the structure, change the curriculum, and change their style. And that way, in-class practices, give them more freedom in the classroom. However, after the research, I determined that in fact it's in the induction process where we want to make our changes. So, why is this the case? Well, there are a few reasons. First, mid-career teachers aren't guaranteed to be better teachers. Tom Moore, who taught in the Bronx and now teaches at the International School in Denver, said, "Great teachers don't drop into classrooms like Navy SEALs." So that's kind of a nice, succinct way of putting it. You can't rely on these people just because they had some previous professional experience that they're going to be able to teach well. Patrick Welch, a high school English teacher in Virginia, mentioned, if you don't love it, leave it. And this is talking about second career teachers who become teachers. So really, there's no guarantee that they're going to be any good at teaching. Second, the classroom freedoms are already in place. These teachers already have all the necessary freedom they need. Talking to Christy Dawson, she mentioned that all the teachers in the school have plenty of freedom for teaching style and curriculum freedom. And even in poorer schools, they have even more freedom because the schools are less organized. However, there is not appropriate induction methods in place. And so Pam Grossman, a professor of education here at Stanford, mentioned that for our schools to succeed, we need to attract a highly capable workforce, that's your second career teachers who have technical skills, devise better systems to support teachers in their first years on the job. That is the induction process. And create conditions that keep highly effective retention. So, what is a better system to support teachers in their first year on the job? Susan Johnson, a professor of education at the Harvard Graduate School of Education, mentioned what new teachers want in their induction is experienced colleagues who will take their daily dilemmas seriously, watch them teach and provide feedback, help them develop instructional strategies, model skilled teaching, and share insights about students' works and lives. So, What we need is appropriate induction and practices to match mid-career teachers' diverse needs.
Time.